Hello, gamers. Hey, gamers. It's me, Demo, but Dylan.
And Wes.
Yeah, this is Wes. And today, we drew Pokemon as not Pokemon, but as drawing. This is
Some armor.
Yeah.
We did some armor.
I didn't really have a plan coming into the start of this, so I'm just kind of spitballing
It's the
awkward
first one.
facts.
It's the
Yeah, it's
first
also the
one.
first one.
It's gonna be a little rough around the edges. You know, we'll get those
You're rough
details
around the
hammered
edges.
out.
Yeah. Also, like this is
yeah.
gonna be like super freeform. Wes, why don't you just like break down like what it is that we're doing today?
So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to look at Pokemon. We're just kind of choosing Pokemon based off of which ones kind of have some interesting designs going on, as far as shape, language, and we're adapting those into Dark Souls armor. So we're going to try to implement the same kind of layering strategies and, you know, just kind of that historical reference, but, you know, high dark fantasy at the same time, and just see if we can at least get the kind of the shape design of the original Pokemon to come through in the design.
Now, I've never done anything like this, so it's going to be interesting to sort of like break it down, and especially if we do this again, just kind of like learn from the mistakes or like the sort of blandness or like whatever kind of, or basically like what you were missing in the first design. It's going to be kind of interesting to, you know, give it another go, and especially if like this becomes like a recurring thing, just kind of like break it down over and over again. But you want to start with yours, gamer?
Sure, man.
What Pokemon did you do?
So I did Kakuna.
Kakuna, affectionately called Metapod over and over again.
Yeah, I did. I totally didn't get Metapod and Kakuna mixed up like 60 times during working on this. Yeah.
Are you ready to start the time lapse?
Kakuna armor. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. You're gonna.
Okay.
No, wait. That's actually not. That's our audio test. What the heck?
Oopsie.
Oopsie doopsie.
Audio test. What? Get out of here, audio test.
Get out of here, audio test. Here we go.
Here we go.
What we got going on here, gamer?
So, you know, just kind of sketching out this pose, you know, just gotta, you know, get those forms in there. Decided to go with a lady. It's gonna be Lady Kakuna.
Lady Kakuna.
Here.
I actually really like this pose. We haven't gotten into mine, but it definitely is like a nice juxtaposition. These two characters.
Yeah, I wanted her to feel kind of, you know, kind of regal, you know, and, you know, kind of like elegant. Yeah, so I wanted her to have some kind of ornamental kind of armor to go with her kind of stance.
It's very sick. I definitely love like how the pieces are just coming together, and I'm really excited for the time lapse just to see the whole process, because I actually haven't watched the whole time lapse back. All I did was compress it.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I think this will be the first time I've really looked at these. I think I like scrubbed through them really quick. But as far as like seeing,
there's your reference. Saw some reference there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so breaking down those pauldrons, those shoulder pieces, kind of want them to be like the dome shape that Kakuna has on his head.
Yeah, it kind of looks like from your process too, like you're almost like going for like a line list to start, and then you start doing, maybe start doing the line work over it.
Yeah, this one I was super not very organized with kind of what the order of operations that I was doing things with. So if I had something I wanted to improve upon, it would definitely be that.
Just like the order, or just like the refinement process, basically.
Yeah, like honestly, I wouldn't have started jumping into colors here as quickly as I did. I kind of wanted to kind of block in the main form, see what I was working with. But realistically, I feel like I should have stuck in that rough sketch phase a little bit longer.
Yeah. I definitely your phase is definitely, or like where you start jumping into the color and like the line art was super fast. Like I'm sure like 90% of my time lapse is just sketching, because like all I just wanted to make sure everything was just right. But yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like you came into this super confident with the lines, just getting in there, man.
Just trying to get in there. I'd done this is the first time I've done a Pokemon drawing in quite some time. I was trying to see if I could somewhat replicate the Pokemon style.
Yeah.
Haven't done that in like a few years though.
Yeah, that Suki style is pretty tough. And I mean, I know we've talked about this, but like trying to get into some Fakemon drawing and try to like replicate that Sugi style for that. No, but
Oh yeah.
I see you messing with the helmet a bunch.
Oh
Trying to
yeah,
do this,
dude.
starting out with the line art for the helmet.
Yeah, just having a base head and just drawing the helmet onto that. What a great plan.
It's so ballsy,
Not
dude.
not
And
my
it's,
best plan.
I mean, it's turning out pretty sick. Like, actually,
It
really,
came out all right.
I mean,
I don't know if it's metapody enough for me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
well, good thing it's not Metapod.
Damn it! Oh, it's Kakuna.
It is Kakuna. In fact,
That's alright. Well, the one, the only Kakuna pod.
yeah. Actually, what I thought was interesting about this is that like, you did like the folding of the fabric just with the colors, and then did the line art over the fabric folds. Like that's so alien to me. Like I don't understand that.
You gotta get in there with your value studies, man.
Hell
It's
yeah,
easy.
man.
Easy.
It's easy. Okay,
It's
big
easy.
man art school, man.
Mm-mm. Don't go to art school, by the way. if you're watching this,
Don't go to art school.
if you have the resources for it and think it makes sense, you can do that. You could just learn online from people though.
Yeah.
Some really good teachers on the internet.
Dude, I definitely like it's kind of like very reminiscent of like Ornstein, not necessarily like that. Ooh, I see that liquefy coming in, but
I didn't. What are you talking about? I'm not cheating.
no, but I really like the sort of like the Ornstein-esque like elegant sort of armor that this is, because you know, Ornstein's like gold and he's got like all these overlapping pieces, and it's really almost form-fitting and meant to be fast and dexterous. I definitely get that vibe for this.
Oh yeah, Ornstein's super, super like a royal guard kind of looking guy, and all those layers on his skirt, super cool.
Oh yeah, the
Those
cool thing
Dark
about
Souls artists sure do love their layering, I'll tell you.
I know, and yeah, you've definitely like captured that with this, while sort of maintaining sort of, what am I trying to say, like a loyalty to Metapod, or not Metapod. There I go.
See, now you're doing it.
To Kakuna's sort of tight layering, because if you look at Kakuna's design, and I see you've got that little tie on the chest that Kakuna has.
Oh yeah, so basically when I jumped into this, it was like, what shapes does Kakuna have on him that you can kind of just take and make into armor pieces? And immediately I was like, all right, he's got the dome headpiece, he's got the tie, I want that tie to come down over the torso.
Yeah, the tie looks sick, and I definitely think it lends itself well to sort of this Dark Soul armor thing.
Thanks, man.
And I am kind of glad that you didn't just straight rip the Kakuna helmet, because that's like the most, probably I would think that's like the most obvious design choice, is just because he's already got a helmet,
Yeah,
he's
he
already got a little
definitely
helmet going.
does already have a pretty clear helmet shape, and that was like definitely where I went first. I was like, all right, so this helmet shape, that's there. That's something that I can
Just
fall
stick
back on if
Kakuna's head on
whatever
this
I do
human.
doesn't work.
Oh yeah, dude. And these floaty bits are pretty nice.
Floaty bits.
What made you want to do the little floaty bits?
I was thinking about Weedle. He's got the little stabby bits on him, and I was like, I want stabby bits. And I thought the floating would bring in kind of like a witchy kind of aspect.
I could see that.
This, yeah. That might be cool.
Yeah, man. I definitely like the floaty bits, and I see you got the floaty bits on the lance too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the lance was pretty straightforward. I was like, oh yeah, what does Metapod evolve into? Beedrill. Beedrill's got just lances. All right, I'll just
he's got
stick a
big
cool lance on
stabby
there.
bits for hands.
Big old stabby bits.
You can't go wrong with big old stabby bits. I like the actually like the contrast between like the soft shading on the lance and the sort of more sort of hard shading on the armor. To like show how like perfectly round it is. That's really nice.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I was gonna go for that same, you know, pretty hard edge thing, and then it ended up looking like it was like had angled edges, like planed edges, and I was like, that's not what I want. So I just blended that out a little bit.
Hell yeah, man.
Here we go. I do kind of wish I had put a highlight on there though.
It's all good. Yeah.
I think I ended up.
There was a couple places where I wanted to put some highlights as well. I just didn't get to it. I kind of wanted. There was a lot of stuff that I still wanted to do, but I just didn't get to it. I wanted to do this not in 20 hours, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like when you're recording something, you're like, I don't want to spend as much time on it because it's like gonna become a more unwieldy file, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean this file size was already like what, pushing 2 gigs.
Damn,
that's a lot.
That's a lot of gigs.
Dude, you're putting so much detail into this rendering, little rendering on the armor.
Yes, maybe too much detail. Well,
no. No, because you still got like all those big shapes in there, and it looks really sick.
Thanks. Dude.
Going through all the blending modes.
Hit him with the soft light.
All the blending modes. We just saw a flash right before our eyes.
Yes.
And I think the purple here is definitely a nice choice. Nice.
I think it ended up being, you know, nice to have a contrast to all that yellow. So I think the purple was like, you know, the best option.
Oh yeah, man. Labeling your layers. I don't
Waiting until I'm done with the drawing to label my layers.
I always do that. Even in like commission work, I won't label my workflow is so chaotic. I won't label anything till the end.
Yeah. Sometimes it kind of just be like that though.
They really do.
Know.
But yeah. Well.
There we go.
Good job.
There she is.
Looks great.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited to see some Metapod armor.
Little desert scene. But yeah, we kind of alluded to it a little bit, but I will be doing Metapod. But I just can't get over how fucking sick this looks.
Good job, man. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Could have been a little cleaner, but I'm happy with it overall.
Good, man. There's always next time.
Always next time.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next time lapse as well, just to sort of see that juxtaposeness that I was talking about. But yeah, so here we go. But I sort of started out wanting to like block in the pose, and I don't really have as much of an understanding of anatomy as Wes does, but I did my best, and it took a long time to get it to look how I wanted to.
I don't think I've ever, because I gave you, you know, a few tips on anatomy here and there, but I don't think I've ever seen someone just like hear an explanation of something and then just like understand it and just like implement it and not really make the same mistake again. That's kind of where I'm impressed with how you are on like your figure stuff, is that like I'll like mention something to you and you'll just like incorporate it into your, you know, into your drawing. You're like, okay, well, this is something I need to watch out for, and that's something that a lot of artists I think lack, actually.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. I definitely feel like I learned a lot doing this drawing. I spent a long time working on the anatomy and just like studying that rather than the armor itself. But
yeah, well, that's the thing, is that the armor's based on the anatomy to begin with, so
yeah.
it can be hard to design armor without a really good understanding of the base anatomy.
For sure. And I kind of wanted to like a sort of like a strong pose, strong man with a big old halberd.
Yeah, I mean, Metapod kind of gives off like strong man vibes. I mean, he's got like a, you know, pretty strong pointy nose. I don't know. He definitely makes me think, you know, buff dude, maybe. Right?
Buff dude. Just because he only uses hardened.
Yeah, and then he evolves into a butterfly, but we don't have to talk about that part.
That's very true. Oh, but at this point, I got sick of fumbling around trying to draw hands and arms in the direction that I wanted to, so I literally just took a picture of myself trying to do this buff dude pose.
sometimes that's what you got to do, man. You got to just, all right, you know what? Enough of this trying to figure it out business, trying to find reference. Just shoot your own, man. It's always going to be pretty easy when you do that.
But
yeah, I mean, I'm liking how this pose is coming along and starting to block out some of that armor on him.
Yeah, and here, like, maybe like the Metapod sort of influence isn't exactly noticeable, but Metapod has a lot of segments that are broken up into thirds. And I tried to break a lot of like the segments here up into thirds, like the sort of like the rib cage and the abdominal area and the torso. Especially if you look at Metapod from behind.
He's got that like three segmented tail towards the bottom of him, right?
Yeah, pretty much everything on Metapod's segmented into thirds, like especially on his backside, which you don't really see often unless you're like looking at the back spray of the character.
Looking at the back spray, checking out like a weird episode of the anime.
Metapod gone wrong.
Oh no.
No, but I remember we were in call like working on these, and you and Abby said something about putting Caterpie's little eyebrow piece on it, and I decided to stick with that because I thought it was super cool, just having the influence from other parts of the evolution line in it. And
yeah, honestly, it makes me kind of think of like some kind of like samurai adornment or something going over the the eye holes there. Yeah. It's cool to have in there.
And I go through the helmet so many times. It's actually unbelievable. And
yeah, you did some iteration on that helmet.
And it definitely it's spoilers, but it's even gonna change after this entire helmet. Like I completely get done with this entire helmet and then decide that it wasn't fitting the aesthetic that I wanted. But yeah,
it's not going the direction I want it.
It'd be like that sometimes. I really do.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you gotta kill the baby. You just hey, this baby, it's gotta die. Somebody get it out of here.
What an interesting way to put it, but yeah. Essentially, I try not to treat my art as sacred, and I would advise any artist not to treat their art as sacred, just because pretty much most stuff that you're gonna do, there's gonna be a mistake that you can learn from. Just try not to get too attached to stuff, which is kind of why I spent so much iterating and trying to make it better. But I'll try to not do that as much.
We didn't do all that much iteration on these. I mean, we started with the drawing, we finished with the one drawing.
Yeah.
Say we were doing like game asset workflows, we'd do, maybe 30 different like rough sketches before we'd figure out which ones we're going to refine, right? You know? And then decide upon, which one's going to be the best one. So, I mean, here we're just kind of getting like a quick, fresh kind of take on the character.
For sure.
It's pretty cool.
And working in a 3/4 perspective is hard on the head. So when in doubt, just do a side and a front and then do it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because then you have those side and front views to be able to combine, to be able to like figure out what it looks like from the 3/4 instead of just guessing.
Yeah. I never even thought about doing that, but you told me to do that, and it completely changed the way that I thought about doing this.
Yeah, man, just architectural breakdowns, and you figure out what your 3D form's like.
Art school.
Hey.
Oh, but we changed up that leg pose too, because the little kickback wasn't working.
Oh yeah, decided he needed a little more leggy.
Little leggy. He's got them big Gibby legs.
I am glad you decided to revisit the helmet. I like this one a good bit.
Yeah,
great deal more than
I definitely do too. It kind of gives off like sort of almost with the horns. It's more like Dragonborn Skyrim sort of helmet, almost.
I could see it.
But yeah,
it definitely like reinforces, because the other one looked more like agile, and I think this one looks more like tanky.
Yeah, which was sort of like the intention whenever I was going into it. And I kind of wanted to do like a layered gauntlet here as well, but for the life of me, I could not figure out how it works. So I mean,
that's fair. I mean, yeah, that foreshortening's, it's gonna be a pain at that angle. It's gonna be a hard one to figure out.
Yeah, my smooth brain tried warping it to try to see if I could figure the format that way, but
sometimes it works, man.
It was
Sometimes
all
you
in
just get
vain.
lucky with the liquefier, the warp, and you know
Yeah.
it just goes right. Sometimes it just doesn't.
Sometimes it just looks weird. But here we
Yeah.
go into the weapon.
Ooh,
I tried to use the
working on
little
axe.
metapod banana shape that he's got going on as the blade.
Yeah, I see it. Like it's a like side silhouette.
Yeah. It's sort of like more adapted into a blade, of course, but I think my favorite part of this, well, outside of the blade, because I actually really like the blade, was that cloth right there. Because I thought I got like the twists really nice, but then I ended up throwing it away completely. So.
Ooh, dang, that was a nice twist. That was a nice twist.
Thanks. I didn't want to draw it. I didn't want to render it, but sometimes it'd be like that. That's art, man.
Yeah. I like how you're, distorting your blade a little bit to show, we can see that it's coming towards us.
Thank you. This guy's ready to chop at a moment's notice.
He sees someone in the distance that he's gonna chop him.
He's gonna chop him.
He's gonna get him.
Actually, after this time lapse is over, we actually wrote down some descriptions for like the weapons and the armor.
Oh yeah.
As like a little bit of like flavor to add to these drawings. So I mean, after this is over, we're gonna go over it. If you would like. Oops.
Yes. Oh no. So
time lapse is still going, but Wes couldn't see it for a second.
Yes.
Oh, but no,
this is that rough line working, and then you got some really sweet, clean lines in there. You spent a good deal of time on those lines.
Thank you.
I remember watching that process.
Yeah, I literally did. I think I did like at least 11 sketch layers, which is unholy, and it's. I mean, I do that a lot. For my workflow is like 90% sketch, for most of the time, even for like commission work.
Gotta
but I am
that idea.
Hell yeah, I am super happy with how this came out, and I don't even remember what brush this is, dude. If I'm gonna be honest, like I would tell you, but then I'd have to remember, and I don't.
Fair enough. Sometimes that happens. Did you say what was his name? I remember you telling me it, but I can't remember what it was.
Normally for like sketching and stuff, I'll either use like the 6B pencil that comes with Procreate, or I will use the Dave Greco main brush.
That's what it was, Dave Greco. So it wasn't Dave Greco.
No, it's something from Kyle's set, I believe. It was really toothy, and I really liked the way it looked. I think I'm gonna experiment with more brushes next time too. So,
okay.
Get maybe some smooth lines going. Oh, but yeah, I couldn't. Those like 4 lines, like the little breathing holes, they ended up in different spots on every single sketch. It's funny.
Just trying to dial in and find the right spot for them.
Yeah, now we're getting into the colors.
Blocking in those colors, dude. I gotta say, I really like the way that you rendered yours.
Yeah,
it's super clean. Lines. It's very crisp.
Thank you. I really liked the sort of the colored lines idea. I often do that whenever I do line work, and I don't really do line work often. I tend to do lineless stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you mentioned colored lines, I think I immediately was like, yeah, let me get up in those colored lines. I want dark red lines also.
Yeah, dude, I think dark red lines are so sick. You just put a dark red line in there, or as your line art, and then just
warmth to the drawing.
Yeah, because like it'll just sort of like adopt like a darker property of like whatever you put behind it.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't expect the lines for the horns there to be red. I thought they were going to be like more of like a brown or like a dark tan. But no, I thought it turned out pretty cool. And now you'll see me fumble with the shading, trying to figure out like hard edges and soft edges.
But you figured it out quite nicely.
Thank you.
Like you kind of get in some of these bevels here, and it like, to me, yeah. See that little like highlight on the chest is just like chef's kiss, man. That's
hell perfect. Yeah. Thank you. I could not replicate it. And I actually, like, after like realizing that I couldn't replicate it anymore, I was like, I don't think I need to. I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a super, like, it's a subtle lighting scenario, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't, it's not like super flashy, it's just that one glint of light, you know? I think that's where, like, I think you really checked the mark, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
For rendering these out, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it, gamer. There's not much gaming going on, just arting, but you know, sometimes that's gaming.
Gaming or arting is a new type of gaming, unlike any other.
Hell yeah! Get that the stick. Get the stick shadow, halberd shadow.
Yes, dude. You get some dynamic highlights up in here, and they do be looking good.
Yeah, dude. I was struggling with this for so long, I could not figure it out.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty sweet, dude. Looks like it's some kind of like metapod obsidian or something. I don't know.
It's like super reflective because of all that.
Yes.
Hell yeah. We get a little simple background in there, and there we go. We got our boy.
Damn, that rendering just came out so clean, dude.
Hell yeah.
So should we get into the lore?
Yeah.
Do you wish to hear the lore?
I'm pulling that up now. Let's start with yours, if you'd like, since we did your armor first.
Sweet.
So I know we said it a couple minutes ago, guys, but we wrote lore, or like at least item descriptions for the armor set and the weapons that our characters or the armor sets are holding. Just sort of like to more immerse them into the Dark Souls universe, just because, I don't know, I thought it would be cool, because I know I've seen a few different channels draw sort of like Dark Soul-esque armor set based off of Pokemon, but I think going that one extra little step is really nice, and to add that sort of like immersive quality to it. Hell yeah, but what you got?
Some flavor to it.
What you got, my boy? Let's see what sort of literary gaming you came up with.
Yeah, man. All right. So, you know, this armor set, it was created from some metapods. Some metapods, right? Not metapods. God damn it. Kakunas. they hatch from their shells and they turn into beautiful baby beedrills, and they go on and have their wonderful adult lives, right? They leave behind their shells, and you know, that shell, it's pretty durable, it's pretty strong. It's a strong shell, could make for a good armor material. Then we kind of took these like lore elements of like Pokemon, right, and that's where we combined it with Dark Souls. So for my armor, I kind of imagined what was a good Dark Souls scenario for why this armor might be made. I came up with it like a bunch of Kakuna. A bunch of Kakuna hatched from their shells, and they became corrupted and turned into, you know, corrupted Beedrill, like this giant hive, corrupted Beedrill, just like that one episode from the anime. And then somebody was like, well, we got to do something about these corrupted Beedrill, so they made themselves some Kakuna armor. They made Kakuna armor.
Get it right!
They went to go slay the queen. This is the Queen Slayer set. As for the lance, it's got its own little cool story. The lance was fashioned from the lightweight stinger of a large Beedrill slain by the Verdant Knight. That's our Metapod friend here. The stinger is both light and extremely sharp, despite its impressive size. So, wait, I'm trying to read my windows. Too small here. Okay.
Bigger window.
Yes, the lance has a skill. The skill is called Loyalty, and it reads, upon activation, the user charms nearby enemies, causing them to fight alongside the user for a short duration. On each successful charm, the user is granted increased endurance for as long as the charm is active. So that's your cool little boss weapon.
Hell yeah, man. I think that I think you did a lot with that. Like, you added like a whole little story. I just added little flavor text.
I wanted to, you know, like personalize these characters we've made a little bit. It's as if they had gone on some kind of quest together, maybe.
That's fair. Mine's a bit more ambiguous, like you would find in Dark Souls, but I definitely like how yours is very specific. like a very elaborate journey.
Yeah, I've only played a little bit of Dark Souls 3, so I don't know too much beyond, you know, cool armor and like zombie guys and stuff.
Right.
Um, and also the boss is hard. Remember to, you know, press B a lot. Oh man, there's gonna be somebody mad for me saying that. Simplifying down such a great
Just
game.
R1 spam. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, just roll around. It's all good.
All right,
So
well,
I'm ready to hear some Metapod lore.
Metapod lore. Well, first of all, it is no longer Metapod. This armor set and the weapon are called the Verdant Knight Armor and the Verdant Knight Halberd. And I do have some flavor text for all of them. The Verdant Knight set's flavor text is as follows. This armor belonged to the Verdant Knight, a wanderer from a land far beyond Lordran. The material for this armor's plating was molded from the discarded husks of recently evolved metapods, who are known for their incredible, tough outer shells. This armor is somewhat heavy and incredibly durable, boasting high defenses, resistances, and poise. So the idea here is sort of based off of like Metapod's sort of trope in game where he's always using Harden, but ironically doesn't have particularly high defense. But we're just going to ignore that last bit.
Ignore the last bit. Pretend like Harden actually does something cool.
Right. So yeah, that was sort of the idea for this. Just make the armor maybe sort of like almost like a middleweight, not super. It not as heavy as like Morn's armor or Havel's armor, but somewhere in that middle ground, but is still sporting like a really high defense.
Yeah, I almost imagine like when we were working on these that like just maybe even just based off of how we were talking about them that like the Metapod kind of material would be like a slightly heavier but like much stronger material, whereas like the Kakuna material would be maybe like this lighter, slightly more flexible, but you know, a little easier to compromise kind of material.
Yeah, I definitely felt that as well whenever I was writing the descriptions for it. But the Verdant Knight Halberd has a flavor text as well, and it follows with, or well, it doesn't follow, but here it is. This halberd belonged to the Verdant Knight, a wanderer from a land far beyond Lordran. So, okay, so it starts out the same. Its axis blades are irregularly shaped, as it was forged from a metal that was impossible to properly smith in an acceptable amount of time. So, the metal was too hard to forge properly, and I thought it that sort of thing lended itself well to sort of like the Metapod with Harden kind of thing. And having the blade shaped a little bit like Metapod as well, I thought that went well together. Okay.
It's a nice tie back. It's like if it didn't already read to you as Metapod, it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, what's up, Metapod?
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do about it? It's just a Metapod. He didn't do nothing to you yet.
But I also have a skill for the weapon called Perseverance, which is a skill that's already in the game. And the text says, assume an unfaltering stance to increase poise. Damage taken is reduced while active, which is the effect in game. So not really much. I didn't add some cool skill, but I added one that I thought would make the most sense for Metapod. So yeah, these are our armors and our weapons.
Armors. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for coming to check them out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, maybe even subscribe if you're feeling spicy. Let us know what else you guys would like to see, like if you'd like to see more Pokemon as armors, or if you'd like to see some other kinds of drawing videos, because I'm definitely open to doing some other stuff. I feel like I learned a lot from this, and whatever suggestions you guys have, I feel like we could all learn.
Yeah.
We could learn together.
Do some suggested matchups for armor designs. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If that wasn't apparent, it was sort of themed. We didn't really mention that. It's Metapod versus Kakuna.
Yes.
Anyways, bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.